What's up, guys? This is Ninja on the Ninja, and basically, I got a video for you today. It's a League of Legends video, by the way, so. But in this video, I will be calling someone out. Boom. Okay. Let me go full screen real quick. So the person's name is Pokerick, Pokerick. The title is Rito, please add this. And he put York ask. And real quick, I just gotta say, he has to stop pretending to speak as York because he is clearly not York. Because basically, sadly, um, this guy is too selfish. The person, not York. The person is too selfish. And York is selfless. And this guy is selfish. And so pretending to speak as York or pretending that this request is something that York would say, it doesn't fit, bro. Like, because you're trying to be something that you're clearly not. If anything, your personality is more in line with the Draven, basically. You're full of yourself, you're egotistical, you think you're the shit, and you think you matter, but you only matter as far as bronze, silver, gold. But once you get up there, people don't, that's why Ezreal, actually, he may not be all that good in bronze when it's farm animal time, basically, right? But what's it called? He's not good at the farmhand. As a farmhand, you want a Draven. You don't want an Ezreal, right? But when it comes time to handle the government, you want Ezreal, not Draven. Okay, and basically that's the fake to make it world, and I can get into that. And that's why the world sucks and why the dating pool's fucked up and why everything's all gone to shit is because Draven has tricked you into thinking he can do what Ezreal can do, but he can't. And that's what's going on here. But anyways, I wanted to do a response to this guy. He posted this video, and I'm thankful that he posted this video, because he showed me, um, basically, I think this kind of match, like overall, like this is what most people can't do lately, and this is why they say, oh, you're so egotistical and whatnot, because I'm able to talk about a thing without putting my dick in the cookie jar. Basically, he'll know what I'm talking about. um I'm not involved, there's no ego here, and so saying I'm egotistical, it doesn't work because I'm not saying it's me, I'm the shit, I matter. That is true, that I am the shit and I matter, but that I'm not putting that out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not making that claim. And so to try to alienate me because I'm telling you you ain't, and for you to turn around and say, okay, well, you ain't either, I'm not making that claim. You are. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, but again, that's those uh basically, I don't want to pull too many hairs, but it's basically what they used to call arguing like a woman. Basically, they make it about what's it called, context, or the content rather, instead of context, basically, right? But that's something for another day. If you want to argue about that stuff, come by my a comment on my YouTube at least, because I kind of gave up on Twitch because I think it's rigged. As far as, like, I get no traffic anybody that tries to save the world and tries to lead the governor, the people. Like if you're a shepherd and you lead the sheep into the world so they can prosper, you get kind of shafted, kind of like Bernie Sanders. But if you are somebody that makes the world suck like Pokrick, you get the sky and the world. You get shown to the world, basically, because you'll drag everybody else down with you, right? That's kind of the idea. But anyways, I'm gonna get into it. We're gonna poke Rick right now. Um, so here we go. Go ahead.
Okay, my friends, welcome to this beautiful
First on, okay.
League of Legends match where you have the old map. The old map match. Welcome to it. My friends, this is such a beautiful moment because I have so many... I don't know, I just, I kind of feel safe with this map because I've been playing League of Legends for a while, and even before my channel, I did still play League of Legends, over the whatever years it's out. Maybe solidly like one game a week at least, on average, so it's not...
So I want to say that isn't true. Um, maybe he would go a week without playing, and that it averages to that. But I'm telling you that based off of what he uploads, considering the fact that it's only wins and he only wins 50% of the time or less, basically, it should be win loss, but it's win, excluding this one because I know how it ends. But that's, anyways, it's bullshit. Anyways.
Not like I haven't been around, I don't remember even knowing about Yorick as a champion, by the way. Whoop. I think one more. It was extremely unlucky because she got the grasp, I didn't. But, it is what it is. She's got all the tools.
That's weird because I know for a fact. Huh. Hold on 1 second. One moment. I don't know. So I know for a fact that at that time
she got the grasp, I didn't. But, it is what it is. She's got all the tools.
She's got all the tools. I remember responding to that. Oh, okay, I see. It's because I didn't. Okay, so I brought it up, but I brought it up later. And so when I wrote this, I brought it up later, basically. But now I'm watching it and I'm remembering that I brought it up later, but it's happening now and it's not later. And that's the disconnect. And so basically, I'm just going to add the later and take it from I wrote that later to now. But basically, it's not your kit that's limiting you, is what I wanted to say. It's you that are limiting you. And yeah, you're just not as good as you act or you think you are, like to say you are. And so you keep on saying, "Oh, York is limited," or blah, "York is this." York. No, you need to stop using that as an excuse. And that's kind of what I started. It says because it says Rito, Riot, please add this, York. Ask, and that's kind of why I bring it up. He always uses this as an excuse, basically, and that's what I'm saying. He needs to stop. That's kind of what I'm coming down to, right? Coming to, and you can do whatever you want, right? I'm just saying that we're not dumb, or at least most of us may or may not be dumb enough to know that it's you that are the person that is limited, and it's not Yorick, and this is why Rito is fine, and the patch notes are fine, and the balancing is fine. Mentioning that for later, but that's all fine. The issue is you. And again, this is stuff I mentioned later. But the point is, you're limited because you, as a player, are limiting Yorick. It's not the other way around, as you seem to perceive it. Anyways, and for the record, no harm. I don't mean any offense by this. Um, I do think you're a dick and a douchebag and a bit of a draven and a cuck in that field. And you can take that however you want. I don't really care because it's the truth, and the truth is the truth. You can cry or bitch about it all you want, but change how you are if you want it to stop, because I ain't. But anyways, the point is, what's it called? I don't. I will still have orange juice or a beer with you. At the end of the day, I don't hate you. I just think you're a bad person. I don't trust you. I wouldn't leave my dog with you, for example, but I would still, you can still chill wherever. I'm not opposed to sharing the field with you. You know what I'm saying? You're not an enemy, which it seems that the world is either a friend or an enemy, and the world needs to realize there's more to life than cats and dogs, people. Right? Anyways, continue.
And I just probably have to just stay back for a little bit. I could farm these with my E, but we'll see if I can farm more, because it could be expensive if I do that. It could be a little bit of expensive. Okay. And also timers. You see how I press tab and I can see timers on the camps? Boom. I think that's going to be overpowered on Yorick. Because Yorick is the one who wants to know. Actually, no. A lot of champions want to know that. A lot of.
See, I'm proud of you for realizing, but there's a good portion of what exists, and that voice that's like, oh, actually, more than York relies on this exists, and that's in everything and outside of this game, even, right? That's what I want to point out to. That's why you're a dick, because you would say that, oh, Yorick wants this information and the game's all about Yorick, and no, the sun is, I'm sorry, the earth is not the center of the universe, kid. The sun is the center of the galaxy, right? And the galaxy is in the universe somewhere. You need to expand your horizon, son, right? That's, anyways, it's I think a global aspect that the reason I'm sharing this is because I think it affects a lot of fucking people, right? And I'm thankful for him doing what he's doing, and he thinks that he isn't in the wrong, and he is in the wrong, and the world has been without people like me for a very long time to point out that he is in the wrong, and people like him have been encouraged, and this needs to stop, right? So again, it has to have some politics in it, because this is the world. Like, people have been getting away with murder for a long fucking time, and accountability needs to be restored, and balance needs to be restored, because the world is getting pretty fucked up. So,
A lot of champions want to know that.
and what's funny is I haven't even gotten into my script yet. Well, yeah, I haven't even gotten into my script yet, but anyway.
I wonder if.
Good news, I stopped at 10 minutes, so don't worry.
Whoop. And yes, there we go. I think I only need to survive until Bramble West, and then I'm good. And then I'm good about this Fiora. Okay. But it's not gonna be an easy task doing that. So hopefully she does not.
I want to say, for him to know that once he has the bramble vest, that the threat falls off. A lot of people don't even have that as common sense. And this is why they have people that will go 0 and 9 because they copy pasta, right? They see someone who's farming well and playing well and they copy him. But the problem is they aren't farming it well and they're falling behind. And so the power that they had, they don't have. And so it's not working. And they don't know why. And this is what leads them to feeding, basically. But he knows once I have certain things, it's okay and blah, blah, blah. The problem is that he only knows the first step. And it's sad because most of the world actually doesn't know beyond the first step. They don't know that there even is a step. Like you're going up a ladder and the game's going to change, and they think they can just copy pasta the whole way up. You can't, right? That's actually what happened to StarCraft 2 was they made it to where you can actually copy pasta all the way up and now the game is dead and competition is dead as a result, and now that's just the sport, what's it called, a feels good sport. They're doing it because it feels good, they're playing because it feels good, watching it because it feels good, but there's no brain activity involved in the game. Like you're dead. This is why most people quit the game and became brain surgeons or whatnot, because the game was good, but it isn't anymore. And this guy, if we followed his guidance, would also lead League of Legends off a cliff like they did with StarCraft, basically. And this is why I do what I do, is because I don't want to see that happen. And again, people say, "Oh, it's ego, it's ego." No, there is no ego. I'm not. I can play as a contender, but I can also be a coach, and I know the difference, right? But yeah, anyways.
Freeze it. Okay. So hopefully, whoop, I need this one big time.
So I want to say this Fiora is bad, right? Just seeing her and how she plays and her reactions and her decisions, she's bad, right? So he should be winning harder, but he's bad too. So it's okay. No shame. Be bronze, be iron, whatever you want to do. But don't act like you're doing something amazing when you're not. Like when you watch The Boss, for example, he's actually not that good. When you watch so and so, he's actually not that good. Faker, yeah, he's pretty fucking good. Remember that moment with Freak, and he's like, "Well, Faker, what was that? What was that?" Remember that moment? That was a real moment. Like, holy shit! But that would never happen here. That will never in a million fucking years ever happen on this guy's channel or watching him play or blah blah blah, because he isn't thinking at that level, right? You understand what I'm saying? But but again, it's fine if you're not the same. That's fine. You don't have to be that. You don't have to be faker. You don't have to be the very best. Just play the game. Have fun. Have fun. That's all that matters. Just have fun. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's a competition at the end of the day, right? Play the game to have fun, but also play to learn and to think. And that's the part of the game that people aren't catching on to. That's what I'm telling you. Like phase one, yes, Bramble vest or whatever it's called. Good choice, good item. He knows that. Well done. Step two, and he's like, what's step two? And I'm like, oh fucking hell. And everybody else is like, there's a step one, what? And I'm like, oh my fucking god, America, what are you doing? You know, that's what's going on. And that's, I think, why I don't get any traffic on my channel. It's because I can show you the world, take you wonder by wonder, right? I can, anyways, I can show you the stuff, but they don't want me to show you stuff, and so they shut me down like Bernie Sanders. They quiet me and shut me up. But people like him, he's broadcasted all over the world. Like he has, I think it was like 10,000 or something follows. He gets like thousands of views. He has 73,000 subscribers, 1,000 views as of 4 hours ago, and he's not doing anything. He's not doing anything. It feels good to watch him, and that's the problem. As Americans, like, I just wanted to do what feels good because I like and stuff and things, and people tell me it's okay, and that's why Trump's president right now, and that's why people are fucking dying across the world because you want to do what feels good, and you want to do what actually is good. Anyways, continue.
The other one, I don't know. So hopefully she doesn't really, I don't know how to say this.
Real quick, for the record, it's fine. By the way, if you're not faker, it's fine. The problem is when people are like him, for example, and they talk like they are faker, and they take faker's position and prevent faker from taking the role of faker, and now we're relying on him to be faker, but he can't actually perform the task. And that is America today, the fake it till you make it brigade. That's what we have. And that's the word I was looking for once upon a time. Brigade, brigadier. That's what it was. Damn, I just remembered the word. Holy shit. That's on camera. For the record, by the way. I just remembered a word I was trying to remember a fucking lifetime ago. I'm not going to use that. I'll just create a new document. It's fine. Brigade. Basically, because I was talking, and that's what people do is I'll post a video and I'll call somebody out for their bullshit, and then they'll brigadier my channel. I forget the term proper, but basically they will go and send all of their fans to my channel to thumbs down my videos and comment hateful shit because I dared to question their leader, basically. And that's basically what happens to my channel. That's what happened once upon a time. And that's why I quit YouTube once upon a time. But I came back because I realized that's the world. That's literally what's going on. That's what happens to Bernie Sanders. And it's there is some natural aspects to it, but there's also China and Russia, and they want people like me to disappear, and they want people in America to run off cliffs because it means China and Russia will do better in the long run because you're following idiots like this guy. He's your mentor instead of me, for example, and you're learning wrong instead of learning right. And it's because you'd rather listen to some dude that gets his dick sucked in a cookie jar versus me who's like, why are you putting your dick in a cookie jar? You know what I'm saying? I understand it's more fun and whatever, but it's a competition. You should be trying to be better. You know what I'm saying? And America isn't on that page, and that's why America is suffering today. It's because no one is playing to win. Because everyone's assuming, they got this, but no one has got it because everyone's pretending like they can have it, but they can't. That's why half the government quit, and that's why Trump is the president right now. And that's why I have a bunch of shit and problems in America right now. It's because no one's being responsible. Anyway, back to this.
Synchronize with the jungler or something and then I die now? Because it is bouncing.
It is bouncing, but he is very, I don't know what it is with him, but he's a coward. And if there is ever an instance where there is any threat or any fear of any kind, he is already hugging the turret. Like, The second you smell any kind of like, oh, things could go wrong, possibly, maybe, he's already cowering in the corner. I don't know why or what it is, but that's what he does. And then he also does this thing where it's like, well, it doesn't matter anyway, and then so he feeds, basically. So that's what he does. It's either he's a coward or he's suicidal, one way or the other. There's no in between, and that's kind of like, yeah. Anyways, that's the problem with the world in a nutshell. That's why it's either red or blue, and most people don't understand that there's a white. And I'm trying to pull people to the white. I'm trying to make people understand when you're asked, "Are you red or are you blue?" I answer, "I'm stars and stripes, motherfucker," because it's all about America. Like fuck everything else. America first, bitch. Culture, whatever, all that shit. Fuck all that shit. That's all feelings. That's all bullshit. It's whatever. America first. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, and for the record, I only say America first because I'm in America. If you're in Germany, Germany first. If you're in China, China first. I get it. I'm not saying, my nation's better than yours or whatever. I'm just saying that, you know what I'm saying? Like Jordan Peterson said, clean your room. Clean your room. Make sure you're taken care of first. If you do that, no one can fuck with you. Because guess what? I'm going home. That's it. At the end of the day, fuck you. I'm going home. This is stupid. This is redundant. This is ridiculous. This is whatever. I'm going home. You can do that when you have a good home, right? And that's what sucked about my childhood is I didn't have a good home to go back to. Anyway, continue.
The way we bouncing. Now, I have something to say to Riot, okay? Riot, please. This is a well thought out question for you. Can you add execute threshold for minions for ghouls?
You hear that?
Can you add execute threshold for minions for ghouls?
Remember that because I'm going to get into it later. But um, my comment is about to hit and it takes precedent because again we're talking about in-game stuff first, okay?
In short,
So look what's going on. Look where he is. Look how long he's been there, and just look.
it's the same thing as Singed had. There's a very toxic relationship, no pun intended, for Singed case, in the Singed case, um, with how they get last hit because, let's say,
Did you see that? All that time. Let's see. It's 2 minutes and 35 seconds. My comment is at 2:18. And I point it out because that is when the threat of gank is real. That's when it's there. That is when you can be ganked. Or that's when the danger of being ganked is most prevalent. And yet you waited until 3:30 or 2:35 to do something. It's at 2:18 is when I would have showed up normally, right? You're pushing, you're overextending, right? This is danger zone. And you're beyond, and you've been beyond for seconds now. And higher up, they will punish you for this, right? This is why you don't climb. This is what makes you bad, okay? Why wait till you are going back to base to ward? I don't know. At that point where you ward later, the threat is gone and over. Well, it's minimal basically. Like it's at the very end stage, so like it just doesn't make sense basically. Um, and my point is that you're acting like you're kind of doing stuff just to do it, and you don't really have any logical sense of the matter or any reason. You're not reasoning. You're not using your brain. Basically, you're not. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Is you're not using your brain. You're kind of checked out of the moment, right? And that's what I think most in America, especially. And I think that's why I know who this guy is, Pokrick, is because the rich have chose you, Pokrick, as someone that they want the world to follow. And you're not making sense. You will guide people off a cliff because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, right? And they will shut me down and quiet me up because I do, basically. And that's kind of what's going on. Is they're showing you showing the world, right, off a cliff. But meanwhile, I'm fucking growing mushrooms because no one's coming, no one's around. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think is going on. By the time you warded it, there was no threat. It was over. I think the best tell, just for the record, um, the best way you can tell someone if they're good or not good, it depends on how they ward. Basically, like based on the warding and whatnot, uh, that's how you can tell if someone's good. Like if you are aware that a threat is it could happen or it can happen, you have to be kind of present in the moment. And I think that that's what most people are not. Basically, in StarCraft 2, it's so like basically like script written. Like basically, you're just copying the best. It's so written now that scouting, you don't need to scout anymore because you know what someone's gonna do. You know what they're gonna do. Anything you do that isn't what was expected is a cheese. And I know that for a fact now, thanks to a person named Nero Zerg, who is a grandmaster in StarCraft 2, and he is someone who cries foul anytime anyone does anything, or greed is not what you do. And that's what the status of the game is, and it's a dead, dying game basically, right? Because StarCraft 2 no longer has a brain, right? It's just copy pasta because it feels good, and that's what this guy is. He's doing stuff because it feels good. And he's doing things and blah blah blah. Let's see. The best to tell a casual's competitor. Oh, the best way, the best tell that you are a casual who is trying to wear a competitor's pants, or at least speak like one. And I only give you this credit because I like you, even if I think you're a douche. The biggest tell that you actually don't know what you're talking about is how you ward, right? So that's what I wrote, but and that's why I put also. It's not your kit that limits you. You're just not as good as you act. Just saying, Super Saiyan. I actually wrote that down as Phew. And apparently, 7 7 minutes isn't. Yeah, 7. Okay, so apparently there's nothing to be said till 7 minutes. So we'll see.
In the early game, it's kind of fine for Yorick because, you know, Yorick do be last hitting those minions.
So I want you to notice again. Notice what he did. He went over, last hit one minion, walked back, and watch what he does.
On the way, right?
Here we
Okay,
go.
I need to go back, and now it's gonna be pretty cool for me.
Right, but you didn't. You warded, and you warded 20 seconds after you should have warded, and that's the. Anyways.
But for example, let's say I release them later in game. And a very good example of this is when, for example, let's say I release them.
Oh, but he used it. He could have done that anyways. I mean, like they last 90 seconds, I believe. Come on now.
Here, and then I go join some fights somewhere, or, you know, get some pressure in the jungle, something like that, right? And I have a...
I feel like on the map you would have noticed something. I'm not gonna say anything, but you would have noticed it.
I have a question in my mind as oh god, what the F? Why is he here? I am so unlucky. I am... Excuse me? Did I see that right? Did I see that right, guys? Or am I... Did she just slide through the wall, take the displacement, and stun me?
No.
Or am I just crazy? I think I'm crazy. I don't know. I'll leave it at that, okay? I'll leave it at that.
Anyway, the point is, I know this guy. I watched him for a while, and is is he the one? I don't remember if he was the one or not. Now I think about it, there was somebody that always talked about how they would play the game, but they would use the mini map most of the time because most actions were committed through the mini map. And I'm trying to remember if it was him or not. I don't remember. But either way, the point is you should have been like, oh shit, Rengar is here. You should have been watching the map, but you're just so tuned out, you're not paying attention. And like literally, you are one of the zombies that Yorick pulls, and you're acting like you're Yorick. And this is the fake it till make it thing, guys.
So, okay. Oh god, is he gonna jump from the bushes? I better not go there even. I think... nah, he's away. Oh yeah,
Why would you go to the bushes?
He's very low, so we can't have that. Let's take this. Damn, that bramble vest was pulling its weight like it's, you know, like it's some kind of a climber.
Right, but again, the reason why it was there is because you had the wherewithal to know to have it. And so that is the bigger mention here. I feel at the very least, be proud of the fact that you had the wherewithal to know I should have this item. And for the record, if you actually looked, I would have noticed. And I don't know if you did or not, but if you I'm pretty sure I think it was, if you look, I know you pointed out that your team is a lot of AD, but the what was it? I think you said your team was 80, but the point that I was trying to make was you would have seen that the enemy is a lot of 82, and so armor was. I just know, okay, I'm getting the 5 AD on their team. I'm getting the shoes that reduce auto attack damage, and they give me armor. I forgot what they're called, but just I'm getting it now. Like as the game's loading, I would have decided that, like, okay, all right, those are the shoes I'm getting. That's like how I like to play the game raw, minus the shoes. Sometimes I will wait on shoes because I don't know, like if they're tanky or if they're armor or magic. I don't know what to get sometimes, and so I will wait and I'll feel it. Okay, they were more magic heavy, so I'm gonna get magic defense, or they're more AD, so I'm gonna get armor, or I, what's it called? What's it called? I could have had more output because they had less output, and I could have survived without being defensive. And, or maybe I'm snowballing and I want to keep it alive. You know what I'm saying? It all depends. So
On a cliff. So let's say I need to join a fight or go wherever. It doesn't really matter where I go. And I'm looking at the wave, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to release the ghouls with Maiden, maybe sometimes even, you know, together with Maiden. And I'm going to release the ghouls and I'm going to do the thing. And let's say the ghouls last hit only 2 of the available CS. Now I'm starting to think, oh, should I have even released them? Because I can't calculate in my mind the risk reward from doing that. Oh god. Oh, this time she didn't. Interesting. Can I win this even? That's how you do it.
That right there, again, it was good on the Warwick for sure, but also it was bad on the Fiora as well. So it's kind of a toss up as far as like, is that just skill? Is he that good? Or was the Fiora just bad? And I'm kind of leaning towards Fiora was kind of bad, but at the same time, he was moving and dipping and dodging and weaving and you know he was using the what's called the ring, you know what I'm saying, like kind of like to avoid the blows and shit. And then he was waiting for that right of that uppercut, just, and boom, you know. So there was some skill there, but it was bad for the Fury to go all in, also. Anyway, continue.
Can I win this even, like in a risk reward situation? And
Talking about I just now noticed that my internet has turned off yet again. Um, by the way, I don't know what the hell is going on with my internet. But basically, for some reason, it likes to turn off all on its own. Why, I don't know. So 454.
and
Okay.
the answer is the answer is not. There's no answer. There's not an. I'm outplaying myself. I hope you understand what I'm telling you. So you could fix that by adding it. You could really fix that by adding the execute threshold, and it just is what it is. You know, it's one of those things where on the surface you might be thinking, oh, I'm asking for a raise, basically. But no, I'm not asking for a buff. I'm just saying that it would. It's really not satisfying. You know, it's just really unsatisfying to try to. So what happened with Singed was this: he would poison the.
So basically, if you don't know, because I had to figure it out myself, I didn't know what he was talking about, so I wanted to explain it to you. But Singed had this issue with last hitting, and he would poison, and that was kind of supposed to be his last hitting routine. Uh, Now, I personally think they shouldn't have done this, but they did, which is fine. They can do what they want. Um, but the point is, they were poisoned, and what would happen is the poison would tick. They would go down to 3 HP. Another minion would kill the minion, and then Singed wouldn't get credit for it. Basically, the person didn't last hit, so you know he didn't get credit for it, and that's what they changed. If you had that execute threshold of 5%, if you did damage and the minion is at like 5% or whatever it was, then you would get credit. And I think for Singed, I found out that they made it where if the minion died and it was poisoned, Singed would get credit because it was poisoned, basically. And I don't personally like that, but in that situation, fine. However, it does not come true with Yorick because he won't even be in the same lane as the minion, and that gives you no right to that minion. The fact that you can get it is a benefit for you, and you should take it as is. And this is an example of you asking for too much. Basically, you're like you have a good thing, right? No one else has this, and you're asking them to give you more, and you're doing it at the detriment. He gets into it later, but you'll see.
Wave. and the guys would he would lose CS and he would think, what the f? I have this tool available to me, and I want to use the tool to do what I'm supposed to do. Push
He's being manipulative, by the way. I'm using a tool, and I have a tool, and the tool is the thing, and he's being manipulative. And the thing is, there's no one there to call him out on his bullshit, and so he thinks he's slick, and he thinks he's sly, and he thinks he's better than you or whoever, and he thinks that he's being manipulative. But we're looking at him and be like, get in the doghouse where you belong. You know what I'm saying? Like, shut up. Your ass, no, shut up. You're being stupid. Shut up.
the wave, and I'm just randomly losing CS because of that, and that's just it's just very well, you understand. It's just not satisfying to play. It's very annoying to play. It's hard to find the right word. What is it?
Because it is not justified. If you didn't last hit it, then you didn't last hit it. End of story. With Singed, he is there and he's using the poison to kill the minion. If he did like 90% of the minion's HP in damage and another minion shows up, and that is bullshit, right? But he is there doing it, and that's what they intended for him to be there doing that. And to ask him to also, oh, you have to last hit too, that's too much, right? But for you to take liberty and say, oh, well, Cinch has it, so I want it to, no, fuck you. Like, shut up, shut up.
But okay. It's really hard to find the right word. What exactly is the problem there? But there's definitely something. Now Rengar died, which means that I'm not gonna bother this Fiora too much, because she's just gonna hug the tower, and I don't care about hugging towers. Okay, for example, now I know that even if my ghouls don't last hit these minions, it's still worth for me to go proxy, I think. But that's such a bad way to think. I should be certain that, hey, those guys are gonna do it, you know?
No, you shouldn't. The fact that it's even possible, you should be thankful for. And the fact that you ain't thankful for that and you're asking for more just shows you how ungrateful you are. And that's why you end up getting your dick caught in the cookie jar. It's because you're an ungrateful, selfish prick.
And that's all I'm asking. It's not gonna make Yorick overpowered. It's just gonna. You could get back some of the. Oh God. Oh Lord. I need to be very careful with the way I use my wall here. There we go. Because Rengar is here. I think this action dead. This action might be dead. What are you doing, Action? Oh, Maiden just bearing the brunt of that. Just bearing the brunt of that. Look at that. Action, no health. Ghouls just joining the fight for no reason. Getting me some assists. Very nice. I like it.
So, no, that's not why you got the assist. The reason why you got the assist is because you participated in the fight. Don't get me wrong, the ghouls do give you credit for an assist. I'm just saying that you were actually part of that fight. And that's why you got the credit, right? You're actually part of it, okay? You ignited him and you cued him. And so, because of that, I think it's like for 10 seconds after, you get credit because you participated. I think it's until he leaves credit. I actually don't know. It's actually a good question. I would think it's until they leave combat. But anyways, point is, no, it wasn't the minions that give you the minions that gave you credit. It was you that gave you credit. So 722. No, actually, you would have gotten the assist anyway because you hit them with your E and ignite. Okay.
You know, and I'm gonna say something unpopular, okay? I wouldn't even mind if you nerf the ghoul damage just a tiny bit to compensate for that. I just want to be sure that they will be farming the wave, okay, correctly.
The whole reason why I pointed out what happened at 722 about the last hitting and the ghouls, how you said it was the ghouls that gave you credit, the whole reason I pointed that out was because of what you're saying now about ghouls and last hitting, basically. And the point is, you're giving too much and you're asking for too much. And, like, that's not good. Overall, just no, just stop it, okay?
Because if you think it's going to be super giga overpowered, which I don't know, I don't think it will. I'm pretty sure it won't. Because 5%, threshold, who cares, right? But if you think that there needs to be some kind of a balance there, maybe, I'm assuming that somebody from Riot is watching this. I really hope they would, because I think
I missed something.
powered, which I don't know, I don't think it will. I'm pretty sure it won't. Because 5%, threshold, who cares, right?
Ah, yeah. The 5% threshold, who cares? I wrote, who cares? Question mark. Anybody with a brain that isn't a dumb dog like you. That's who. These things matter, and this is why you need to stop being a closed mind. This is why you need to stop being closed minded and using your feelings for judgments, because your reason or logic, your ability to process, um, if you had any, wouldn't agree, basically. So you're saying who cares, but I'm telling you, if you thought about it more, you would care. That's basically what I'm telling you. But because you're thinking like a dog and using your feelings and you want to feel good, and that's as far as you're willing to think, that's why we have Trump as a president right now. Right? So, anyways,
But if you think that there needs to be some kind of a balance there, maybe, I'm assuming that somebody from Riot is watching this. I really hope they would, because I think this is a good idea. Yes, I did give other suggestions. For example, that Yorick would be able to dig a grave wherever he wants. It doesn't.
so first off, I wanted to say that no one from Riot is watching this. And if for some reason they were, they would basically be skimming over it and only viewing the highlights and looking at the important parts. They wouldn't really care about what you have to say, because what you have to say, you have shown many times, um, is that you aren't a thinker, basically. And listening to you is basically exactly why America voted for Trump. Basically, that's how he became president, because they wanted to do what felt right, right? In their empty headed, absent logic thinking, that's what they came up with, right? And I think people learned to not listen to that feeling, to not to not give in to that feeling, to that sensation. It feels good, so it must be good. They realized, oh shit, things have consequences. You know what I'm saying? And that's the point I'm trying to bestow here. Okay. So you're thinking this, and you're thinking this is going to bring that. But you need to realize that by doing that with reality, what's going to happen is this way over here because you're an idiot and you're not thinking about it. And the second you gave the green light, you thought they were going to go right, but they went left. You know what I'm saying? Or you thought they were going to go left, but they went right. And you're like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And that's why they didn't do it. You understand? And the problem is, anyways, continue.
Doesn't make sense lore wise to dig a grave wherever you want, but also maybe it's like a it could make sense in the sense that okay, I need to look at the what's going on at that herald. It could make sense in the sense that okay, he's finding an old grave, and nobody knew that there was actually somebody there some time ago, so he was the shepherd of the lost souls, and he knew that even though we didn't see it in this match, but there was a grave here, so he dug it, something like that.
That is a dumb idea. He has the ability to just make a grave, and your reasoning was as such. No, not that doesn't work. In order for there to be a grave, you need context, basically, and that's what the what's it called when you kill the minion. The context is there. You don't just get to say, "Oh, magic," or reasons, or because Bob. Like you're being silly here, and again, this is an example of you. This is why they used to have the saying. I haven't said it for a while, but they used to say, "Don't bite the hand that feeds you," basically. And what you're doing is you basically it's a nub now because you chewed it off because you're in a grateful SOS, basically a sack of shit, right? And that's the problem. Your idea breaks his character. Stop thinking with your emotions like a lady, right? That's what I wrote. And again, because I know some people may have feels or whatever, but this may or may not be before your time, and there is a reason for it because once upon a time men were this, women were that, and this is what, and that's what they say. You fight like a lady, or poison is a woman's tool, and so forth and so on, and that's where the you're thinking like a lady comes from. It's because you're thinking outside the box when it comes to a man. I think that I found out now the reason why I'm so like gung ho about roots and staying true, and why I'm so authentic, and why I'm so wholesome, and why all that matters so much is because that's just I'm a man, and I think that might be part of it. Basically, like it's my bone, it's my tree, it's my yard, it's like that has an absolute value at some point or another. But anyways, so again, your idea is kind of stupid. Um, he doesn't have the ability to just say there was a grave. Or he he dug a grave. He put the dude in the grave, and he pulls them out of the grave, and that's the concept, and that's the idea. That's how it is, and you just want to have like what you're thinking about. This is why I play York because this is the closest we have at the moment. But basically, you want a summoner, basically, right? That's what I used to play in World of Warcraft. I used to be a warlock, right? And I had an imp. I summoned an imp or a voidwalker or a succubus or whatever I wanted. Like as far as those things go, right? or I would what's called capture a demon in the wild, right, and then use the demon in the wild to fight my battles and such. But that was the thing, as a warlock, I could summon demons, and I had that aspect, and that's kind of what you're talking about. York isn't a warlock. I play him in that warlock kind of mindset, sure, but he's not a warlock. And I agree, they should have a warlock. Like Annie and Ivern are some characters I like because they have aspects that are much like a warlock, right? But they're not warlocks. And so to just randomly dig up a grave, no, he's not a warlock. He can't just summon, he just can't randomly pull up a pet. He is not a warlock. But I will say, and I think you would agree, that they do need to implement some kind of warlock to be part of the game. I think there's not now was it Nasfaranu? I don't fucking remember the name. Nasafi or some shit. But there's a dog in League of Legends that has it's a member of a pack and it has pets or allies or whatever. And I like to play that guy as well. But I think that's as close as a warlock you could get so far. Um, that is New York, of course. But yeah, because it's a member of a pack and just summons dogs, and the dogs fight along and blah blah blah. But yeah.
Um, anyway, let me finally use my TP. And this Fiora, I don't think she comes back from this, honestly. Especially if I get ICB, Iceborne Gauntlet. No, IBJ, not ICB. What the F? I always mess that word up.
Did you catch it?
J. Especially if I get ICB, Iceborne Gauntlet. No, IBJ, not ICB. What the F? I always.
So again, as a friend to a friend, that's fine. But just know I'm pointing out because fuck you, man. You fucked up big. No, I'm kidding. It's not J. It's G. And I know that English is your first language, but I just want to point it out just because. And again, I'm on that path, so why not? But it's Iceborne Gauntlet with a G, not a J. J is like John or Jacob or Jingle Hammersmith. His name was my name too. Whenever we go, anyways. John Jacob Jingle Hammersmith. Da, 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 da. But yeah, it's J, not G. But yeah. Anyway, what I say, it's fine. We all know what you meant, but I'm just pointing it out because dot your T's, cross your I's, and I'm just saying it right. So,
Messed up.
and yes, that was intended. I dot your T's, cross your I's. It was intended because you're supposed to say dot your I's, cross your T's. But anyways, whatever.
That word up. Yeah, that's that. That's IBJ, not ICB. What the F? I always mess that word up.
Oh.
Yeah, that's that. That's the long explanation of why I think the ghouls should have a threshold. It's really about making the decision making, because Yorick's the reason you should play Yorick is the ghouls and the fact.
Okay. Do you remember at 722? The point of mentioning that and trying something that and what? Oh, the point of mentioning that and tying everything that happened into this moment together was to show you that you don't know what you're talking about. The ghouls are fine. Okay, that's kind of what I wanted to say. The ghouls are fine just as they are. they don't need, and it's not warranted, to justify what is happening now with York to what happened with Singed, because the two are not the same at all. Singed had a poison. York, or this idea, or everything that you're talking about in this moment, and everything you're mentioning for this situation, it all breaks down to you being lazy and trying to get away with something you don't deserve. If you want CS, be there for it. Or if you want, you can go and play Singed. Because then you have the poison. The hell? What did I do? Then you have the poison, and that actually accounts for, gives excuse to um, what they did and what's happening with Singed, right? And then to put that towards York, you would need a poison, basically. And what you're arguing for is the same mechanics. And again, one has a poison, one doesn't. That's why he has those mechanics, and that's why York doesn't. And I understand that they're doing damage, but they're ghouls, not poison. And again, he doesn't need to be there. Singed does. Understand? York and the ghouls can be in 2 3 different places, and he can still get credit for those 3 lanes, right? Literally, you can do that. I have done that, right? But Singe cannot. But you're asking them for to be the same. Like, what are you doing? Shut up. I understand what York has is a York thing, and it's good as it is. Leave it alone. Like, you're asking for too much. Stop it. Right? So again, as is, you're just being lazy, and again, you're deciding with your emotions. Stop. Reason shows you are wrong, and reason shows that you are deciding with your emotions, and you are the weakest link. Goodbye, right? Um, and so, and to do what you're saying to, oh,
That you, the reason you should play Yorick is the ghouls and the fact that you push with them and you go someplace else. That is
right. And to do what you're saying would take away from that aspect, because then it becomes more because then York would become more useless in a team fight, which again is your problem. Personally, it's your problem. You don't show up for team fights. Okay, you AFK and you just farm, and the reality is all you're doing is you're helping the enemy in a sense, because you're doing exactly what you said the goals were doing. The only difference is you're not getting the gold, right? In your scenario that you created, right? In your scenario, you get the gold, right? But what I'm telling you is if you didn't push the lane, then their opponent wouldn't have gotten that farm or gotten the lane to push it back, basically. So you're making them more powerful at the end of the day. And every single time you do that, you're helping the enemy as well as your team. It's a benefit for the both of you, and that counts as a negative at the end of the day for your team, because that benefit is for you and only you. And that's my point, right? You gain, the whole enemy team gains, and it's not good. It's a 5v5 game, not a 4v5, not a PvE game. It's a PvP game, whether you like it or not. That's what it is. If you wanted to change it that bad, you can leave or stop playing the game, for example, and go do something else. Because that's what it is. To do what you're asking is to kill this character for everyone else. Because, again, to pull away from the team fight aspect is to give into you and only you, and that's what you want and only you want, because you are too afraid to stand in a team fight and to show up and to fight a team game. And you're saying, oh, it's okay to pull away from that element as long as you benefit the other element, because that's what I want. But who the fuck are you versus every other York player in the world, dude? Like, stop being a selfish prick. To do what you're asking is to kill this character for everyone else. Again, shocking to no one with a brain. You are being a selfish prick. Get your D out of the cookie jar, kid. Listen, I like you the same way I like Trump. I would have an orange juice with Trump. And I said orange, and that's something I didn't intend when I wrote it, but orange, but an orange juice or beer. But I do not and would not give you access to my taxes, basically. As far as brain relativity goes, you know. That's it. Stop. You don't make decisions. You don't make assumptions. You don't. No. Brain stuff. No, you don't. No. Nope. Shut up. As a person, sure, I'll have a beer with you. I will drink with you. It's fine. Whatever. You're fine. You're cool. You're entertaining. Whatever. But again, as far as like a management, I would never want to be working with you if you're the manager, because clearly you don't know what the fuck, right? You want Trump to fucking lead, basically. And I make that stand because you are an idiot. We can chill, we can hang out, we can play b-ball, that's fine. But as far as you as a decision making goes, my D is going in the cookie jar, not yours. And for the record, no one is putting their D in the cookie jar. I am just making a joke slash point.
Hands down the most unique quality of him, and in my humble opinion, it is the most interesting quality in the whole game. So obviously when you do that, Riot, don't put it like a big announcement about it, just so we can silently as York mains enjoy it and nobody else knows about it, something like that.
As funny as that would be, as far as them doing it unannounced and whatnot, it still doesn't excuse what you are. Now, I understand that this can be taken as a joke, but you need to understand that because of what you have shown and because of your own characteristics, I cannot take it as such. I wish I could, but because I don't have a Trump juice, I mean orange juice, lol. I wrote this, by the way. That's good business model, by the way. I mean that, by the way. Orange juice, Trump juice, I think that would sell. But anyways, because I have no orange juice or a beer in front of me, I have to assume you are being at least, if not partially, serious. And then I said, anyway, that's it. 10 minutes is all I can stomach. Anyway, that's it. Let's see. Oh shit. Where is it? Anyway, that's it. 10 minutes. It's all I can stomach of this smelly ass horse shit. Oh. I skipped to the end. Yeah, I skipped to the end, by the way. So we go to the end. Take your time. Oh, so and that change. Apparently, you're mentioning it the whole time.
Healthy. What are you doing, boy? Not gonna happen. It's not gonna do anything. Damn, I need to heal for such a long time. It's right before. It's kind of a sad game, but really, you know, it is what it is. So yeah, thanks for watching this, Riot. Who knows? Maybe I would have won the game if the ghouls, obviously no, but if the ghouls had that threshold. Thanks for watching.
So that's the change. He was mentioning that the whole time. I believe. I don't know. I stopped watching at 10 minutes. I wanted to see what happened at the very end. And I heard that. I don't know what happened in the middle, but no. If they added that, it wouldn't matter because the problem was you were not helping your team. You were being selfish. Based off of everything I known of you, I can assume the same thing here in this game, and it was you were selfish. It's kind of funny, kind of ironic because you talk in high regard about how York can push lanes and also not be present in the lane, and yet you still don't show up for team matters. That is hilarious to me. Be as fed as you want, which is what you're asking for. But when you aren't around and you're the tank, you are why the game is lost. This match is proof. It was close, but they couldn't win 4 versus 5. Just like just about every other match I seen that you posted. That's what happened. Again, that's just based on who you are and what I've seen and whatnot. Like every game that you post, people have talked about. I think at the very beginning, you had made mention that you guys are always talking about how it's easier, blah blah. Well, yeah, the reason why we're saying that and that's why it is that way is because I think that's honestly the only games you win. It's because every single time they have to count on you, you're hiding somewhere in a wall somewhere and you lose because you're not there. They can't win 4 versus 5, and that happens. That's what happens. So, as I said and have been saying, and according to you and everyone else who has been watching you and also has said, you get carried and only post games where you get carried. Apparently, those are the only games you win when your team can win 4 versus 5. And you can farm to the sky, and it doesn't matter because your team won it all anyway without you. And the last thing I said was I think your maiden has participated in more team fights than you have. And that's basically it. And again, I say all of this as a leader, essentially. Right? I'm not saying that I am your leader, right? I'm alpha or whatever. I'm just saying in general, like I'm looking out for everyone, and I see what you're saying is bad, and I see what you're asking for is bad, and I'm reading everything as it's being put down and putting it in the world's best sandbox, what I call it. I believe I am one of the smartest people alive. And you're welcome to challenge me, whoever the fuck wants to. I show up on Destiny's Discord all the time. My title is actually Smartest Man Alive. So go there and find me and talk to me. I go into rooms all the time and just sit there alone until someone shows up and we talk and just, yeah. I don't say you're welcome to come at me. That's fine. I'm fine with it. I don't care. I talk basically, right? And that's what it is. I use my brain. Basically, and that's what it is. And the reason why I use my brain is because I was an alpha as a kid. I played soccer, football, basketball, all that shit, hockey, all that crap. I was, with bitches. I had a girl. I was doing all this crap, but then a brain tumor and then a stroke and all this shit. It ruined my life and fucked me over and ruined my life, basically. But I took that alpha energy I had, that I was, and turned that into brain stuff now. So I can't, and the stroke makes it very hard to do things still. But by the way, I do this because my right hand, it doesn't fucking, it's hella slow. This hand's great, but like that's me trying to move as fast as I can. I I can't. Right? But yeah, so it is what it is. Okay. Limitations, it's whatever, but the thing is, I am an alpha. I always was an alpha. And you don't believe me and you don't agree, and I don't care. The point is, I'm just leading and I'm just giving wisdom and advice. And following your leadership is why the world sucks today. And it's just right off a cliff. And because of fake it to make it and trusting all these fakers, and I don't trust fakers. And I don't trust manipulators. But again, that doesn't mean we can't drink and hang out and chill and talk and shoot the shit. Because it's whatever. I don't care. I don't have enemies. I don't make enemies, right? I'm not petty, okay? Anyways, I just I just tells it like I sees it, okay? Anyways, be well, be happy, be safe. I'm out. God bless, Godspeed. Take care, be well, be awesome, be safe, and be blessed. So, yeah. Praise Allah, praise Yevon, Final Fantasy X God. Yeah, peace.